Hello, in this tutorial we're doing a mini project. We're going to be making the game Hangman. We're going to make a version of that in Python, so let's get started. Right, the first thing that I'm going to do is import a library. I'm going to import the random library. So this library is just a set of functions that are really useful for generating random numbers or choosing things at random. So the next thing that I'm going to do is create a list or a list of items, a list of words that we want our user to be able to guess. So it's going to randomly choose one of these words. Okay, so I've just put a couple of items of fruit. Alright, so what we want to do is create a variable called word to guess, and this variable is going to be assigned one of these words from this list of words at random. So we want the program to randomly choose which word the user is going to have to guess. So if we do word to guess equals random.choice, so this is a function from the random library, and then in the brackets I'm going to put the list words. And so so this is going to choose one of the words from the list at random. I'm just going to show you how that works. So if I display that now, it's chosen banana at random. If I run it again, banana again, banana again, and this time it's chosen apple, coconut, okay, banana again. Alright, so now I'm going to create a variable called display word, and this is going to store all a sequence of asterisks equal to the length of the word that the user has to guess. So this is what I'm going to use to display the user when we're telling them that they have to guess a character, and we're going to replace the asterisks with the correctly guessed characters as you would in a game of Hangman. Okay, so what this means is it's going to assign the value of an asterisk, but it's going to assign multiple asterisks depending on the length of the word to guess. So I'll just show you how this works as well. So print display word, so it's chosen one of these words, probably coconut because it's got 7 characters, and it's replaced each of those characters in that word with an asterisk. Okay, so it's not actually replaced them, it's just created a variable with that many asterisks. So now we're going to, before I do that, I'm going to create another variable which will store the number of attempts that the user has left. Actually, I think I might call it attempts. So attempts equals 7. So this would be like the standard number of attempts that you can have, that you can incorrectly make when you're playing Hangman. So I'm going to use a loop called, which is going to have 2 conditions. So first of all, it's going to check if the display word is not equal to the word to guess. So basically, as long as they still haven't guessed the word correctly, we want it to keep doing this. And as long as attempts is greater than 0. Alright, so the first thing that we want to do is display a message, guess a letter or the word. So in our version, the user can either guess a single letter or they can have a go at the entire word if they think they know. Okay, and then let's go do another message. You have count attempts left. Okay, not count attempts. Okay, so you have so many attempts left to play. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is let the user actually enter a guess, so they can enter a character or an input. So We're going to store that in a variable called guess. We're also going to create a new variable called new display word. And I will tell you a little bit later on why we need that. And we're going to create a Boolean flag called letter found, which I'll also explain a little bit further on. So the first thing that we want to do is check if the length of the guess is equal to 1. Because so basically we're checking if it's equal to if they've entered a single character. Because if it is, the program is going to behave slightly differently logically. So I'm just going to put pass in there for now. And I'm going to come back to that later. And the next thing I'm going to do is the code for so if if the user enters a word to guess, so it enters something that's more than one character long, we're going to just check if that is equal to the word that we're trying to guess. So this is a bit simpler. This. So if the guess that the user entered is equal to the word to guess, then display word equals word to guess, which will basically means they guessed it correctly, and this will allow it to leave the loop. Otherwise, we want to reduce the attempts by 1 because they got it incorrect. So I'm going to write some code here which will happen after the while loop. So either they've guessed correctly or they've run out of attempts. So if the display word is equal to word to guess, then print well done, you have guessed correctly, and then I'm just going to display the word. So if that's not true, then it means they must have run out of attempts. So I'm just going to put that in a message. You have run out of attempts. Okay, let's just see if that works. Okay, so here we can see that this is seven characters, so it's probably the word coconut. So let me just try apple first. Something else. So the attempts is going down correctly, that's good. Let's just see if that goes all the way down first of all. You have run out of attempts. Okay, great. Okay, now let's guess it correctly. So this is 5 characters, so this must be apple. Well done, you have guessed correctly. Apple, I've put 3 S's there. Okay, there we go. Right, so we know that's working now. I'm just going to stop that. So, let's write the code for if the user's trying to guess a character. So this is a little bit more complicated, this bit. So this is where we want to basically, if they guess a character correctly, we want it to replace one of the asterisks or all the asterisks where that character occurs in the word, or just leave it if it's wrong. So when they enter a single character, we're going to loop through the entire word that they want to guess. Okay, so we're going to use a for loop for that. So if word to guess at position I, so basically we're looping through each position in the word. So at this particular position, if that's equal to the guess that the user entered, then we want to update letter found to true, and I'll explain why that's important in a bit. Okay, and then we want to now just simply add that word to our new display word. Sorry, add that character to our new display word. So that character at that position from the word to guess will be added to our new display word. All right, and we're doing this because we can't actually directly update the display word. We can't use a replace function because it will replace all the asterisks. And you can't update a particular character in the display words at a particular position. It doesn't let you do that because it's immutable. So you have to create a new, and we'll have to create a new string called the new display word, and we're going to assign all the characters to that. So if it isn't, if the character that at that particular position isn't equal to the guess, then we're just going to simply add in the character at that position that was already in display word. So that could be an asterisk or a previously correctly guessed character. All right, so that's going to add that to the new display word. So we're basically generating a new display word here, which will have the asterisks and the correctly guessed characters in it. So now, just at the end of the for loop, though, we want to now update display word with the new display word. So display word will become equal to the new display word. And if the letter found equals false, then we want to reduce the number of attempts here also by 1. So basically they entered a character that wasn't found. So if they enter a character that was found, letter found would have been updated to true, and it wouldn't reduce attempts by 1 because that wouldn't be right. So if they entered a character that wasn't found, letter found wouldn't be updated to true, and this letter found would still be false, and it would reduce the attempts by 1. So that's why we've done that there. Okay, so let's give this a go now. So it looks like we've got apple again. It's useful for testing that. So let's try P. There we go. So it's replaced all the asterisks with the letter P where the P should be. And we've still got 7 attempts left because we guessed correctly. A. Okay, let's enter something wrong. 6. Okay, let's try and guess the word correctly now. Yes, correctly. Good. Okay, let's have another go. So this is coconut, I think. Yeah, C O, and it's replacing all the occurrences where that is, and then N, and then U, and then T. You guessed correctly, and let's just see if it's still. Reduces the attempts properly. Yeah, you have run out of attempts. So yeah, so that's how you can make a very basic Hangman project program game. So it doesn't actually display the actual Hangman image like you can do that, but this one I just programmed the logic using the attempts count because it's the same thing really. So yeah, so there you have a Hangman game in Python. Thank you for listening.